Yesterday, tens of thousands of protesters across the world, from Pakistan to Lebanon to the Palestinian territories, vented their fury at France as the France president vowed to protect the to right to caricature the Prophet of Islam as under freedom of expression. It continues the Muslim world, unfortunately, including my country, India. Very strange. I certainly condemn, in the name of freedom of expression, hurting any community, any religion, any caste, any creeds, any belief system by any means. And I equally condemn very vociferously violence as a protest against such act by insensible people. More so in the country where the father of nation is Mahatma Gandhi, where violence is, even thinking of the violence is supposed to be absolutely condemned and not acceptable. Notwithstanding this incident, which since it was covered in every channel and discussed all over, it gave me the topic for today to talk to you all, my friends. And that today I'll be talking to you. Religion without God, prophet, and scriptures. Any channel you surf, the all over the places, the people were screaming, protesters were screaming, "We all are soldiers of Prophet Muhammad. Expel the French dog. Behead the blasphemous, besides burning and destroying the public property." This is not the way either the Prophet of Islam recommended or any wise, sensible community will ever do that. You got one only duty. Firstly, to become strong, so strong that nobody takes you for granted. And secondly, when it gives a very clear message that you're running out of reason. An idea has to be countered with a better idea, a better logic and better reasoning, not by resorting to violence. My friend, now this, if you examine seriously, unpassionately, dispassionately, you'll realize that all religious system, by monitoring closely, you will discover that the thought of all of that all of these of the followers, they pay lip service to God, the Almighty, the Creator, the Presenter, the Destroyer. Who really matters more to the followers of the people is their founders, described variably as prophets, messiahs, messengers, or avatars. In short, God's human manifestation is given more importance than God Himself. You look at anywhere, Abraham, like I'll quote, Abraham and Moses, they were giving more precedence over Jehovah. Zarathustra over Ahura Mazda. Rama and Krishna over Ishwar. And then you have Jesus and Mary above the Lord. And here, of course, Prophet Muhammad above Allah. And same in Sikhism, Guru Nanak and Guru Govind Singh over Vaheguru. It's amazing. This is entirely understandable, my friends, because while we know nothing of God, we know a lot more about the founders of our religions. Why? Simply because all prophets and all founders, they walked this as a in a human form in this earth. They were mortals like us. They are born to women. They ate and defecated like we do. They were also subject to diseases, and ultimately all of them died like anyone else. We do our best to distort their human qualities by making legends around. You see any religion, any prophet story, it is almost the same. I feel that there, I feel that we should have now a new religion. Jesus without God, prophet, and scriptures. And to start with, I can say that the first thing, the tree planting example I'm giving, what I feel should be made a religious obligation as well as incorporated in our education system. We should be made sure that no school or college student should be issued a school leaving certificate, his degree or diploma, unless he or she can produce evidence of having planted or a specified number of trees and nourished them. Tree planting should be given the top priority in bequests for charity. My friends, all these sadhus and holy men who did not work but spent their time in prayer and meditations. You give it a thought how they contribute in the nation building. Working people were happy to give their alms. Our problems are quite different today. The world is overcrowded, my friend. India has become the second most populated country on the globe. Nevertheless, a sizable proportion of this able-bodied people takes to one prastha or sannyas or reincarnate themselves in as a godments of various all communities, and they still enjoy the religious approval. We have to evolve new moral codes, my friend, a new religion that takes note of our present problems. All these governments, if you total up and see what is their contribution and what do they do, and despite enjoys religion and the people's approval. My friend, I feel very strongly with conviction that our new religion must be based on the word ethic, on the work ethics. I spoke regarding work ethics yesterday. Those who do not contribute materially to the well-being of the society should have no rights. They should be take all right must be taken off from them immediately. Institutions of sadhus, mullahs, yogis, and all kind of holy men living off the earnings of others must be discouraged straight away. Only the physically disabled should be permitted to retire. Religious holidays should be cut down to the minimum, and everyone compelled to work as long as his mind and body are able to do so. Our highest priority, my friend, is to control our explosive birth rate. I feel our slogans used to be two and no more. Now it has to be one and no more, I suppose. Just as a couple getting married are required to take vows to remain faithful to each other, they should be now asked to swear before their gods, whatever their belief system may be, that they will have no more than they'll have no more than one child. गए वो जमाने जब बच्चे खुदा की रहमत होते थे, अब यकीनन सिवाय जहमत के और कुछ भी नहीं. And on the birth of that one child, both of them they will submit themselves voluntarily to be, if they want, uh, voluntarily to make sure that they will have no more children. Legislations had been proved very effectively in controlling our population. Perhaps religious codes enshrining necessity to restrict bearing of children may prove more effective, since law failed to be effective enough to control our population. I was talking about tree planting for the school and college children. What I meant was our second highest priority is to conserve our environment. Our forest wealth has fallen to dangerous levels, causing enormous erosion of soil and silting of our dams. Our rivers and coastal waters are heavily polluted. We have to impose an immediate ban on the felling of trees and the use of wood for making furniture and buildings. There are plenty of synthetic substitutes to replace timber, my friend. Some communities, like I have seen and I have stayed with them, like the Bishnois of the Haryana and Rajasthan, still venerate trees and forbid them being cut down. We have to revive the tradition of sanctity accorded to trees. My friend, tree planting, I say, should be made a religious obligation. And all these things, what I'm telling you, all these things are almost unknown in India. I was seeing a National Geographic. They were showing this, showing Israel, the country, the landscape. It's such a tremendous view. You can see it on YouTube. All these Middle East Arabian countries encircling around Israel, and you can, from bird's eye view, you can see the distinct, clear how greener Israel is, and Arab worlds adjoining next to them, they continue to live in Israel. You can see miles of dense forest of pine and lining both sides of highways, and all of them are planted. All each their signboards, they're written. All these trees of the forest has been planted in the memory of the dead. Each martyr and the immediately on his name, few trees are planted and nourished. This is how Israel had become a green, while its Arab neighbors still continue dwelling in the desert. My friend, controlling the population, preserving your environmental is more important than concern about taking revenge of anybody sketching any kind of uh, anything, bringing in your sketches against your prophets and gods. Unless we take care of this. And if another thing I say very convincingly, if you really wanted to honor your God and prophets, then you don't remain weak. Become strong, become effective, become a contributor for the benefit of the largest section of society, and see how you will be venerated and respected. Nobody will dare to do anything against you, because you becomes inevitable. World cannot do without you, my friend. It's a high time. We must think now to rise over all this, shun all kinds of violence, start accepting each other, and have a new religion without God, prophets, and scriptures, and focus on the practical things of controlling. I just two example: controlling the population, protecting the environment, and happily accepting each other. Thank you very much.